Alright, let's dive into some of the scariest games you can play on PC, all fully playable on GeForce Now. Whether you're into psychological thrillers, survival horror, or something that'll keep you up at night, we've got a terrifying list that covers it all. From chilling classics to modern nightmares, these games are perfect for any horror fan. Let's get into the best 15 horror experiences you can stream right now. Starting off our list is Phasmophobia, where you and up to 3 friends take on the role of paranormal investigators. You'll enter haunted locations equipped with tools like EMF readers, spirit boxes, and ghostwriting books, all while trying to figure out what type of entity you're dealing with. The challenge: these ghosts aren't just for show, they're actively hunting you, and they react to your actions and even your voice. What makes Phasmophobia truly terrifying is the unpredictability. Each investigation feels unique, with eerie sounds, flickering lights, and moments where you're suddenly trapped in a room with an aggressive spirit. The atmosphere is thick with tension as you try to gather evidence while avoiding being hunted. For a mix of teamwork and heart-pounding horror, Phasmophobia delivers an experience that will have you and your friends on edge from start to finish. Next on our list is the Amnesia series, a cornerstone of survival horror that excels in psychological fear and immersive storytelling. From The Dark Descent to Rebirth and The Bunker, each game offers a unique yet equally terrifying experience. The core of the series revolves around being powerless with no weapons to defend yourself, forcing you to rely on stealth and quick thinking to survive. Amnesia: The Dark Descent drops you into a crumbling castle where you must uncover your lost memories while avoiding horrifying creatures that stalk the halls. The sheer dread of being hunted with only darkness as your ally is relentless. Rebirth shifts to a mysterious desert, adding layers of emotional horror as you explore unsettling environments and the protagonist's harrowing past. The Bunker adds a slight twist, giving you limited resources and more control over your survival, but the tension remains high as you navigate claustrophobic spaces. The Amnesia series thrives on building tension through what's hidden in the shadows, creating fear that comes as much from anticipation as from direct encounters. The atmosphere grips you, slowly increasing the dread as you explore eerie environments and uncover unsettling mysteries. It's the kind of horror that creeps under your skin, making each moment more intense as you never know what's lurking around the next corner. Now we have the Dark Pictures Anthology, a collection of standalone horror stories that take you on a terrifying journey through different settings and scenarios. Each game in the series, Man of Medan, Little Hope, House of Ashes, and The Devil in Me, delivers a unique interactive experience where your choices determine who survives and who falls victim to the horrors within. The series is known for its cinematic style, blending exploration, quick time events, and decision making into tense and often brutal narratives. Whether you're trapped on a ghost ship, lost in a cursed town, or facing an ancient evil, the choices you make shape the story's outcome. And the catch? Your decisions could mean the difference between life and death for the characters. The Dark Pictures Anthology shines by creating suspense through its branching paths and multiple possible endings. The tension ramps up as the consequences of your actions unfold, leading to moments of sheer panic as you struggle to keep your group alive. It's a horror series that puts you in control of the terror, making every decision feel weighty and impactful. If you're diving into the Dark Pictures Anthology for the first time, we recommend starting with House of Ashes. This installment stands out with its gripping story set in an ancient underground temple during the Iraq War. The blend of historical and supernatural horror, along with strong character development, makes it a fantastic entry point into the series. Plus, the more action-oriented elements, alongside the usual tension-filled decision making provide a perfect balance for newcomers. Up next is the Outlast series, a survival horror staple known for its relentless intensity and heart-pounding jump scares. Both Outlast and Outlast 2 throw you into terrifying environments where you're armed with nothing but a night vision camera. The only way to survive, run, hide, and pray you aren't caught. The original game has you exploring a rundown asylum filled with deranged inhabitants, while Outlast 2 moves into a rural cult-infested village that's just as twisted and dangerous. The tension in Outlast comes from constantly being hunted with no way to fight back. Your camera is your only tool, helping you navigate the pitch black surroundings, but it also adds to the terror as its battery drains quickly, forcing you to make every moment count. And let's not forget about the jump scares. Just when you think you're safe, the game throws something terrifying at you, whether it's a sudden enemy appearance or a figure emerging from the shadows. These moments are perfectly timed and guaranteed to get your heart racing. If you're after a game that will keep you on the edge of your seat, heart pounding and palm sweating, the Outlast series is an absolute must. It's pure survival horror at its most intense, where every step feels like your last. Next up is SOMA, a game that trades traditional scares for a more unsettling psychological experience. Set in an underwater research facility, it explores heavy themes like identity, consciousness, and the boundaries of humanity. As you navigate through eerie corridors and encounter hostile machines, you're not just surviving physical threats, but grappling with deeper existential questions. What makes SOMA truly unnerving is its ability to blur the lines between reality and perception. The deep sea setting adds to the tension, creating a sense of isolation that intensifies as you uncover the disturbing secrets of the facility. It's less about jump scares and more about the creeping realization of what's really happening, which makes the horror feel more personal and lasting. If you're looking for a horror game that gets under your skin and makes you think as much as it scares, SOMA is the one to play. Next, we have Vampyr, an atmospheric horror RPG set in 1918 London. As Dr. Jonathan Reed, a vampire struggling with his new nature, you navigate a city ravaged by the Spanish flu. The eerie, fog-filled streets are home to both dangerous supernatural creatures and a populace on the edge of despair. In Vampyr, every decision you make affects the world around you. Choosing to feed on citizens will make you stronger, but at the cost of their lives, altering the balance of the city. The game thrives on this delicate push and pull between survival and morality, creating a gripping experience as you decide who lives and who dies. With its haunting setting and challenging moral choices, Vampyr offers a more narrative-driven horror experience that stays with you as the consequences of your actions unfold. The Alan Wake series weaves together psychological horror and a tightly crafted narrative where darkness itself becomes your greatest enemy. You step into the role of Alan Wake, a best-selling author struggling to unravel the terrifying mystery surrounding his wife's disappearance in the eerie town of Bright Falls. Armed with a flashlight and a few weapons, the gameplay forces you to use light as a weapon to survive, keeping your enemies at bay before you can strike. The series is known for its TV show-style episodic structure filled with tension and twists that blur the line between fiction and reality. As the story unfolds, you'll find yourself questioning what's real as the town becomes a character in its own right, filled with shadowy threats that seem to emerge from Wake's own writing. Each game amplifies the sense of isolation, with Alan Wake 2 pushing the boundaries even further, introducing more complex layers to the story and atmosphere. If you haven't played it before, starting with Alan Wake Remastered is a solid entry point, giving you the full experience with modern visuals before diving into the heightened dread and tension of Alan Wake 2. Inspired by the famous found footage horror film, Blair Witch puts you in the role of a former police officer searching for a missing boy in the mysterious Black Hills forest. What starts as a simple search quickly turns into a descent into psychological terror as the forest itself begins to play tricks on your mind. Accompanied by your dog Bullet, you'll need to rely on your instincts and minimal tools to uncover the truth behind the strange occurrences. The game blends exploration and puzzle solving with psychological horror, using darkness, disorienting sounds, and eerie visuals to keep you on edge. The Blair Witch's presence is felt throughout the game, but it's not about jump scares. This one works its way under your skin through atmosphere and unsettling moments. If you're into games that mess with your head and keep you guessing, Blair Witch is worth exploring. Martha is Dead is a psychological thriller set in World War II Italy, blending horror with historical events. You take on the role of Julia, a young woman unraveling the mystery behind her twin sister Martha's gruesome death. As you dig deeper into the truth, the line between reality and nightmare becomes increasingly blurred. The game's atmosphere is deeply unsettling, relying on a mix of psychological horror, disturbing imagery, and interactive storytelling. What makes Martha is Dead impactful is its unflinching approach to dark themes, forcing you to face some truly haunting scenes and decisions. If you enjoy narrative-driven horror with a focus on psychological tension, Martha is Dead delivers an intense and emotionally gripping experience. The Dead Island series mixes survival horror with fast-paced action, throwing you into open-world environments swarming with zombies. Whether you're exploring a tropical resort or fighting through urban ruins, you'll need to scavenge for supplies, craft weapons, and take on the undead in brutal combat. This series is known for its emphasis on melee action and weapon crafting, with plenty of ways to dispatch zombies creatively. The first two games, Dead Island Definitive Edition and Dead Island Riptide, introduce players to the zombie-infested chaos. Dead Island 2 amps up the action with more dynamic combat, a vibrant new setting, and fresh mechanics to keep things exciting. For newcomers, starting with Dead Island Definitive Edition is a solid choice, and you can usually pick it up really cheap. It's the perfect way to experience the series' beginnings before diving into the newer thrills of Dead Island 2. The medium offers a unique twist on psychological horror by letting you explore two realities at once. You play as Marianne, a psychic medium who can shift between the physical world and the spirit realm to uncover dark secrets. As you investigate an abandoned hotel tied to a traumatic event, you'll need to solve puzzles and survive encounters with malevolent spirits, all while switching between dimensions. The game's dual reality mechanic adds a layer of tension as you navigate eerie environments and face enemies that exist in one world or both. The story delves into personal trauma and mystery, making it an unsettling and engaging experience. For those who prefer atmospheric horror that focuses on psychological depth and exploration, the medium is a great pick. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre brings the iconic horror movie to life in an asymmetrical multiplayer experience. You'll either play as one of the victims trying to escape or as a member of the Slaughter family, including the infamous Leatherface hunting down the survivors. The game emphasizes stealth and teamwork for the victims as they try to outwit their pursuers in a terrifying, deadly game of cat and mouse. The environments are detailed recreations of the gritty, unsettling locations from the original film, and each match plays out differently depending on the choices made by both victims and killers. It's a tense, heart-pounding experience that keeps you on edge, especially when Leatherface revs up his chainsaw and you know he's close by. If you're into multiplayer horror with a classic slasher vibe, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre could be right up your alley. Inspired by H.P. Lovecraft's iconic mythos, Call of Cthulhu blends detective work with cosmic horror. You play as Edward Pierce, a private investigator sent to look into the mysterious death of an artist in the isolated town of Darkwater. As you dig deeper into the case, you'll uncover a chilling conspiracy tied to dark rituals, ancient gods, and a reality that bends and twists around your sanity. The game focuses on investigation, dialogue choices, and exploration, perception, with a sanity mechanic that constantly tests your grip on reality. The more you uncover, the more your perception of the world around you changes, leading to a descent into madness that mirrors the cosmic horror of Lovecraft's work. For fans of psychological horror with a heavy dose of mystery, Call of Cthulhu offers an eerie journey into the unknown. The Dying Light series brings a thrilling mix of survival horror and parkour set in sprawling open-world environments overrun by zombies. In the daylight, you scavenge for supplies, craft weapons, and take on the undead in fast-paced combat. But when night falls, the world changes. Deadlier and more powerful enemies emerge, turning the game into a race for survival. Both Dying Light and Dying Light 2 Stay Human feature dynamic free-running mechanics that let you traverse rooftops, evade enemies, and explore the decaying urban landscapes. The second game expands on the formula with a branching story, improved combat, and more complex world interactions, making every decision impactful. If you're a fan of fast-paced action and the thrill of surviving the night, the Dying Light series offers intense, adrenaline-pumping horror that keeps you constantly on your toes. The Resident Evil series is synonymous with survival horror, and these modern entries showcase just how terrifying the genre can get. Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 bring iconic characters and moments from the original PlayStation era to life with updated visuals, gameplay mechanics, and a fresh sense of dread as you fight to survive in the zombie-infested Raccoon City. Resident Evil 7 takes a different direction, introducing first-person gameplay that plunges you directly into the horror with a twisted family and a remote Louisiana estate to escape from. Resident Evil Village continues in the first-person perspective, blending gothic horror with action-packed sequences and unforgettable encounters with larger-than-life enemies. For the Resident Evil series, if you're looking for a modern take on the classic survival horror experience, I'd recommend starting with Resident Evil 2. The remake stays true to the roots of the series while offering updated visuals, mechanics, and plenty of tense, nail-biting moments. It's a great balance between nostalgia and modern gameplay design, making it an excellent entry point for both longtime fans and newcomers alike. If you're more into first-person horror, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard is a fantastic place to start. It reinvents the series with a more immersive perspective, offering an entirely fresh experience while maintaining that signature Resident Evil atmosphere. Whether you're looking for psychological chills, intense zombie chases, or a story that keeps you on edge, this lineup has something for every horror fan. Plus, since all these games are playable on GeForce Now, you can jump in and start playing on your PC no matter where you are. If this list has sparked your curiosity, make sure to hit like and subscribe for more horror picks and updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video where the scares continue.